happen.
Chelsea at the movies, da 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 da. I couldn't really do it.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
I recognize it. We saw Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Overview of the movie. Well, I would think that you've heard about Star Wars. So this is the final installment of the third trilogy. It was...
Which means it's episode 9.
Right. Put forth by J.J. Abrams as this being the movie that is going to wrap it all up. It's gonna, be inclusive of the other 8 movies that came before. And the idea is that there's not going to be another movie.
Yeah, the idea is that this wraps up the Skywalker saga.
Right.
Which
that's what I was trying to say.
on our Earth timeline with A New Hope, which was episode 4 in this longer thing.
Yeah.
With Luke Skywalker, and then
It began with the original trilogy that came out in the late 70s, right? Or the 80s?
It started in 1977.
Right. And then we had the prequels that came out in, was it
1999 was episode 1, came out in 1999.
And then now we've had this latest trilogy that the final installment just came out.
2019.
Anyway, I feel like I don't need to say anymore because it's unnecessary.
It's Star Wars. If you don't know what Star Wars is,
Kelsey, go wait or skip.
Well, I mean, this one's hard. I want to say, if you are a Star Wars fan, go see this movie because obviously you have to see this movie, even if you think you won't like it. I think you have to see it, and I think that. So that's the thing. If you don't like Star Wars, then don't go see this movie. There's no reason to see it. You wouldn't understand most of this movie. It would be like going to see Avengers: Infinity War, and just being like, "What's going on in this?" You wouldn't understand that, and so choose your own solution. Choose your own solution, person.
I'm going to say go with a caveat or an asterisk by it, and basically for the same reasons. Yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, go see it. If you even, you're familiar with Star Wars, maybe you didn't see The Last Jedi, or some of the other, one-off movies or something, I still think, this is the final installment of this trilogy. I think that you should mark a historical event, which I think this is what this is, and you should go see it. It was entertaining. There was a lot going on. I don't think you're going to be bored by it. If you are not interested in Star Wars at all, it's just not your thing, sci-fi is not your thing, then yeah, you don't want to see this. I don't think there's anything extra in this movie where I'm like, no, anybody could watch this and they're going to get something from it. No, if you're totally not Star Wars, not sci-fi, no, just skip it.
And that concludes the most complicated go wait or skip that I think we've ever done, right?
I do this all the time.
I know, but we both usually do come up and let's read through these different parameters. If this, go here. Maybe we can make a chart or something.
We need
a diagram.
Tree chart of some sort.
Anyway, let's get to the spoilers. Spoilers.
Huge spoilers.
You know it.
All kinds of spoilers in this movie.
Yeah, this is all sorts of surprising spoilers.
Took everything. I liked what you said last night, that J.J. Abrams visited the Star Wars Reddit thread, took every fan theory, and he was like, "It's all in this movie, guys."
He's like, "Oh, you have a Star Wars fan theory? Well, guess what? You're right. Everyone's right." Basically, I mean, even on Star Wars Theory, which is a really, really popular YouTube channel, he was like, "See, I had this theory and this theory and this theory." Not all, you know what I mean?
Right.
And there was a lot of fan theories, so maybe he got some of the ideas from people. Who knows? Maybe you came up with, some of the big spoilers. You don't know. You won't know, but maybe you did.
Yeah. I would just like to say, I really enjoyed being part of, I think this is a historical event for my lifetime, to be able to go and see a movie opening night where the story, this is stretching back from the late 70s. Yeah. And it was part of my childhood.
Before
I didn't know whatever. Yeah, I was born in 81. I didn't know that there would ever be another movie. Then there were the prequels, and I was an adult when those came out. And now this, and I'm almost 40 now. that is quite like the span of time. And to be there on opening night with other people
My favorite
who
thing.
also enjoyed it, everybody cheered.
Opening night Star Wars is
Yeah.
my favorite movie experience, and really lucky that I've got to do it so many times.
Right, yeah.
So I'm really, and I love it every time.
When the scroll came up,
everybody claps
cheered,
and is happy.
and
people will like clap during the movie or
Right.
or whatever. It's just a fun experience.
Yeah, yeah. And it always makes me tear up. I tear up when people like unify. The unity in that like sold out theater.
Let's get
amongst all us people that like love Star Wars is special.
Let's get to the spoilers though, and I'm not really like this. I like just to enjoy single things for what they were, but Rachel loves ranking things. She's always like, I want to like say like this is number 1 and this is number 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you do that, Rachel. Out of the 3 new Star Wars movies, where would you rank this one?
You know that I hate that. I hate ranking things. I don't like that because this is the 3. It's one story split up into 3 parts. So there isn't a ranking, like, you know? Like, I don't know. I just hate it. They all serve their purpose in saying the story.
It's true. Yeah, and I was honestly, like, so much happened in this movie that I haven't even processed all of it yet. Like, I feel like, and maybe that's a criticism of the movie, is that I was bombarded with so much. Me, a lifelong Star Wars fan, who's also read some of the books. Now, I'm not one of the people that's read everything or whatever.
Right.
But there was a time in my life when I read several Star Wars books and stuff. I watch Star Wars Theory, not every day, but I do it maybe like...
Which is a show on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe once a week sometimes, you know, just depending. Listen, they threw so much information at me that was new to me, a person that had seen every movie. We watched every Star Wars movie every day before until this movie got to episode 9. And they threw so much new stuff at me, and my head was spinning throughout the whole movie.
It was a lot.
What's going on? Well, who's this now?
It made me wonder because
I felt so old. I was like, huh?
The Force Awakens, comparatively, really took like the time
to be a story.
To be a story. You got to see Rey. You got to like it was slower, but you had more depth. And then I felt like the Last Jedi was very different. You know, Rian Johnson did a different thing. It felt like a little bit abrasive to me, so it wasn't as, I don't know what the right word is.
Well, comparatively though, the first 2 movies are decidedly slower than this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was more like The Force Awakens.
But it's like in this one, I don't know. I felt like maybe J.J. Abrams was like, well, I got to get it all in.
How much time do we have?
We had so many characters. That's the other thing. In this latest trilogy, I felt like, okay, we had to give all this screen time to Han Solo, all this screen time to Luke Skywalker, all this screen time to Princess Leia. Then we had Rey, then you had Finn, then you had Poe, and it was like you had Kylo Ren, you had Snoke, and then in this one you had the Emperor. That's a whole lot of characters.
Yeah.
And they all had like really big things going on, and it made me, I was like, man, I kind of wish I got the depth of maybe, you know, a quarter of those characters because I thought like Kylo Ren was a really interesting, complicated, dynamic character, and I, you know, would have wanted more of that. I think Rey could have been, but there wasn't enough time to devote to her.
Yeah, there wasn't. You know? I feel like J.J. Abrams, he had all his storyboard out whatever, and they're like, J.J., you can't put all this movie in the movie, and he was like, hold my beer, you know. But in a positive note, it was the fastest paced Star Wars movie. That reminded me a lot of the Empire Strikes Back, which that one is real, just boom, 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 before you know it, it's the end. And this one was like that, but like if you had like a lot more stuff to throw in there, you know what I mean? It was really just a bombardment of visual and audio, like just, I don't know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
We didn't get into spoilers yet, though.
No, so a big spoiler, I guess, well, I don't know if it's a big spoiler, but a spoiler is that, Princess Leia dies in this movie, and that's one of the things that I liked, is that, not that she died, or that Carrie Fisher...
was like, yeah, finally! Hate her!
They handled the death. I thought they did it very well.
Especially considering that she died, like, before they started filming.
Right, so all the scenes that she was in this, they
That's
somehow,
from other movies.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
She didn't film any scenes for this movie?
I really don't have the information available to me.
You don't know.
I can make it up and just pretend. You want me to confidently say one way or another?
About the Emperor.
Yeah, he's back, baby! And this time he brought his granddaughter.
I wanted to say that he was kind of over the top, but then I thought back to the other movies with the Emperor, and I was like, oh, he's always over the top.
He's always act like this. Yeah.
So it was just kind of like weird, you know?
It was weird.
He was like, how is he alive? And then, I don't know, it was pretty weird.
He was like kind of like, almost like a horror movie. Which
yeah.
I kind of like, and I can't wait to see it again, because I was just so shocked by it.
But I thought at the end, when one of the things that they did, it was foreshadowed throughout the movie quite a bit, was the idea of the life force and transferring a life force to somebody else to heal them, which in this case gave the Emperor more life. Well, and then he was like, I don't need you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he didn't need somebody to replace him. He was going to be the Emperor again. And so him taking life force from Rey and, at this point, Ben Solo, I liked that. Yeah, so just to confirm, Rey is a Palpatine. Right, so the other big spoiler was like huge, was that we find out Rey, where she comes from and all this. I just have to say, like, that's one of my critiques of this, is I felt like Rey being the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine was really just like pasted on there. Like, I didn't feel like that was authentic. I felt like J.J. Abrams got to this and was like, well, she's got to be from some, let's figure this out. And just people hated that she wasn't. Slapped it on there, yeah. Because what I remember reading before is that when the first, like, couple movies came out, it wasn't J.J. Abrams' intent to have the emphasis be on where Rey comes from. But what happened is that fans made a huge deal about it. Yeah. But it wasn't, I don't know if that's true, but if that is, then it's almost like he was like, well, they really want to know. It's like, I can't just leave this alone now. I got to come up with something. I was hoping that she was somehow related to Chewbacca. You know? I was hoping that truly, like, she had Wookiee in her blood. She was, from no one, right? Like, that she wasn't just like Anakin was. Yeah. When he was discovered, you know, with like, yeah. Anyway, I would have enjoyed that more. I thought it was weird that she was a granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, especially because they did not bother explaining that. So I was like, does he have, like, has he just been out there, like... Siring? Is that what... Is he, like, siring people? Just, like, sleeping around? Like, I don't... It's just such... Something that's also, never been brought up. That brings up another thing. Like, how does that work? Because he's, like, the Emperor with, like, Sith power. Do you think he woos ladies? I don't know. Like, now I want to see a romantic comedy. A romantic with the Emperor Palpatine. Chief Palpatine and, like, his lady friend. We get to see her parents, but, like, it's never... Anyway, he killed her parents, but it says it like that. Like, he killed her parents. Like, that's the only way it stayed in the movie, and I was like, you mean he killed his son or daughter? I think it's his son. That's what Star Wars Theory Guy said. I forget his name. I just call him Star Wars Theory Guy. But, so there might be information out there in books or canon that I'm not familiar with, but it wasn't in the movie, and I represent that fan. That audience, yeah. Yeah, we don't know. So, it was weird. I thought it was weird. I thought it was slapped on there, so I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of Kylo Ren, and I think Adam Driver did a great job. He had a great arc throughout all three movies, and this movie alone. His struggle with... And here's something that's, like, fantastic, is this relates to real life, because how many people think that they have done something so awful that they cannot be redeemed? Yeah. I mean, this happens all the time, like in the recovery community. People think that, that through their struggle with addiction, that they have done things so awful that it's unforgivable. They can't be like a regular person anymore, or they don't deserve to be loved or valued or any of this stuff. Yeah. And we got to see Kylo Ren / Ben Solo go through this struggle, and to have people, you know, it was Rey to tell him. She had to grow, right? Because she went from being like, you're a monster, to being like, I can sense the conflict in you, and to be supportive in a way that she was unable to in, like, earlier. Yeah. There's just so much in this movie. We could probably talk about this movie for an hour. And we can if you would like. We will do that. Yeah, there was just so much with that character.
Can we say
and,
that also...
sacrificial, like it just really, really good. That character has to be my favorite out of this whole thing.
We also got a glimpse of the popular fan theory Raylo.
Oh.
Those two. I mean, how could you not fall for Ben Swolo? This is going deep. And
that was something I saw them more as brother sisters, so it was really hard for me when at the end they kissed. I was just like, this makes me uncomfortable. That's how I felt. But as Kelsey pointed out, Star Wars has a history of sibling romances. So
come on now. Yeah, there was just so much in this movie, and like the Mace Windu's voice was in it. That was surprising.
Okay,
he was like, "We gotta get these mother flipping Sith off this mother flipping plane," and I was like, "That's nuts."
But there was for Rachel a severe lack of Force Ghost in this movie.
Where was Anakin?
So I
got his voice.
Luke, right?
Yeah.
Was Yoda in it?
I don't think his ghost was there.
No. So, we got Luke as the main Force Ghost. At the end, you got Luke and Leia as a Force Ghost.
I kind of get it, though, because...
But, I so wanted Qui-Gon. I so wanted Anakin.
I just wanted Anakin, and I thought it would make the most sense. However, I do kind of get it from a story perspective, is that same reason Padme didn't show up at the end of Return of the Jedi. They wouldn't know... You know what I mean? Like, the person who was seeing the Force Ghost wouldn't know who it is.
But I think that is just lazy, because when you're dealing with something that's supernatural like this, there are other ways of communicating things. So I would have really liked to have seen Anakin appear to Kylo.
Yeah.
And help during his struggle during all this. I think that would have been really powerful.
Yeah.
But I didn't get all my Force Ghost. Oh well.
But we got plenty more of... I mean, I got stuff I didn't even know I would ever think about getting. Some of it was so surprising. I was like, I can't believe they put this in the movie. Like, it was just nuts, and it was just a really fun time at the movie theater. I was so excited about it. The movie went through, the show, started 15 minutes later, and that was hard on my heart.
But I will say, it was so fun to go in that theater with the lights up, nothing playing on the screen.
We were packed in there like animals, like old days.
No commercials, no previews on. For 15 minutes, and everybody was chatting because everybody was so excited. So they were there with their people and just excited, and that was a really nice experience.
Yeah. So
with humanity, it's so good,
I can't wait to see this movie again in 3D. I'm gonna go see it on Monday. So just throwing that out there.
And then I will probably see it again at some time, just because, like Kelsey said, so much going on in this movie. I kind of
I almost didn't want to review it yet because I was like, I don't know.
We might do a second review.
And a third. And a fourth. What? Anyway.
But
it's not my favorite. I will say it's not my favorite Star Wars movie. I will say that. But I have a lot of favorite Star Wars movies. So
yeah, we're Star Wars fans. I'm going to be a little more lenient. I'm not going to be
I love
harsh. I love the storyline.
Awesome number 9.
And I'm just happy and grateful.
I'm happy and grateful. So. What a great job J.J. Abrams did, who was put in a tough position by circumstance.
Do not envy his position.
But did not let that keep him from hey, I'm going to do this thing
up. Do the best that he could.
Do the best I can. He's not getting great critic reviews for it. They're not bad, but they're mixed. But he is getting a lot of fan reviews that are super excited about it. So congrats to him, and congrats to Star Wars community! Community!
Also grateful when you like, comment, and subscribe. So please make sure to subscribe to Rich Elsie at the Movies.
Thanks. You know it to be true.
Okay.